Hi there YouTube, I'm Sam and you're watching Conservative Caffeine. It's going to be a short video this week because I have a cold and I had mono last semester, so I'm more susceptible to staying sick for a very long amount of time. So it's going to be a short video because I'm tired. In the news this week is Julian Assange's extradition hearing for his extradition to Sweden on allegations of sexual crimes. And if you do not watch this channel very often, I have done plenty of videos on that, so I'm not going to readdress those issues. Just if you're watching Julian, keep up the good spirits, and I'm sure justice will prevail. And in other news, the United States has called for Hosni Mubarak, the president of Egypt, to stop the emergency regulations that have been governing the country for the past 30 years, because apparently they've been in a state of emergency for 30 years, so they've justified having extra powers to the government. So I think this is a lot of progress as far as these demonstrations in Egypt are concerned, that these protesters are making a difference, and even though it may not seem like a lot right now, the fact that the U.S. government has come around from not really wanting to make any statements about this to calling for Hosni Mubarak to remove these emergency powers of the government, I think is a good step, and a step in the right direction. A lot of people have asked me, since Egypt is supposedly moving towards a more democratic type of government, if I'm worried that the Muslim Brotherhood, which is what some people term a terrorist organization, but certainly has ties to Hamas and other definitely terrorist organizations, whether I'm concerned that that's going to affect the government. And as I understand the security concerns about endorsing this movement, if the Muslim Brotherhood could form a majority, I still think that it's up to the Egyptian people to decide what their government's going to be. And even if that government's not friendly to us, I don't think we have a say in it. I think that's their call. And it may not be the best right now, but I think it could certainly be better if we just went into it supporting them, even if they have different views from us. I mean, that's what we call tolerance, right? That's something we espouse in the United States, is dealing with other people's religious views. And I think in a lot of cases, if we just sort of stopped being such bullies and just let people decide on their own governments and stopped inserting our own worldviews on them, that we might have better relations with people who we disagree with. And I'm certainly not saying that I side with terrorists or that, I'm advocating for them to have a Hamas-like government. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, we need to work with the Egyptian people and let them decide what their government's going to be, whether we like it or not. So that may be a little bit extreme for you guys, since this is Conservative Caffeine and not Libertarian Lookout, where I do espouse my more radical political views. If you want more of that, then please check out that channel. I'll be uploading a new video this Thursday. In final news today, on the top of my Google News page, is that the president is hosting a lunch for Republican leaders. This is at the top of my Google News. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's a great thing that he's hosting a lunch for Republican leaders and that we can try this bipartisanship thing, but the fact that that is at the top of Google News tells me something. That tells me that this is a big effort to have someone over to lunch, that is some sort of mark of progress. Personally, I think he should have lunch with the Republicans every week. I think that would be great. That we could sit down with the Democratic president and the Republican congressman and talk about things. Isn't that what our government is supposed to be doing? So I think it's great that he's doing it, but I don't get why it's at the top of Google News, because in my opinion, that's what our government should be doing every day, is sitting down and talking and trying to figure out where this country is going. So that was my political views for this week. You've been watching Conservative Caffeine. Please check out Libertarian Lookout this Thursday. Bye.